Look, I know exactly what's happening in your bedroom right now. It is 3:47 in the morning. The room is pitch black. You are in that magical place between deep sleep and your alarm, and you hear it. That relentless, anxious, loud, drawn-out yowl right next to your ear. Your cat is pawing at your face, walking across your chest, knocking things off the nightstand, and meowing the kind of meow that makes you feel like you are personally abandoning them by sleeping. You stumble to the kitchen, open a can of food, put it down, and somehow your cat becomes perfectly content. Then you crawl back into bed, you set your alarm for 6 hours from now, close your eyes, and 30 minutes later, the alarm rings. You are exhausted. You are grumpy. And you have no idea why your cat decided that 4 a.m. is breakfast. If that is you, take a deep breath. Because what if I told you that you are not dealing with a broken, rude, or malicious cat? What if I told you that you are likely being woken up at 4 a.m. because of one specific, completely fixable thing you are doing about 2 hours before bed? If you saw the title, you saw the promise. Today, I'm going to give you the ultimate veterinary nightly blueprint for your cat. I'm going to teach you how to take your last waking moments of the evening and rewire them so that your cat sleeps peacefully through the night, usually until you yourself wake up. We are going to talk about the biology of why cats wake up at dawn, why your cat's stomach is actually setting their internal alarm clock, why that 4 a.m. feeding is making the problem worse every single day, and how to use their natural nightly hunting cycle to tire them out biologically. And at the very end of the video, I'm going to give you one secret environmental trick that uses their litter box of all places to make them sleep until dawn. Let's put your nights back together. Let's start with Chapter 1. We have to talk about who your cat actually is at night. Welcome to the Dawn Predator timeline. I need to share a massive biological secret with you. Your cat is not lazy. Your cat is not nocturnal, and they are not broken. They are a crepuscular predator. Now let me explain that word. Crepuscular means that their brain, their eyes, their hormones, and their entire internal clock are hardwired over millions of years of evolution to be at peak hunting and peak alertness at exactly 2 times of day: dawn and dusk. If I look at a cat's eyes right now, those vertical pupils are not just for style. They are designed to capture tiny amounts of light at low sun angles. If I look at their ears, those rotating satellite dishes are built to triangulate the sound of a mouse rustling in dry grass at sunrise. Every single piece of your cat is engineered to be wide awake at the exact moment the sun is coming up. That means that 4 a.m., 5 a.m., even 6 a.m. in the summer, your cat is biologically being switched on. Their cortisol rises, their pupils dilate, their brain shifts into predatory mode. And if you have a cat that is an indoor-only cat, with no mice to chase, no birds to stalk, and no bugs to hunt, that predator energy has to go somewhere. Unfortunately, it goes straight into your face at 4 a.m. So the question is not, how do we change your cat into a nocturnal sleeper? The question is, how do we redirect that predatory or biological surge so it happens before your bedtime, not during it? And that brings us to Chapter 2, secret number 1, the last feeding window. In veterinary medicine, we call this the feeding gap, and I promise you, this is the single biggest reason your cat is waking you up at 4 a.m. Your cat's stomach is essentially a 12-hour internal timer. From the moment they finish a meal, their gastrointestinal tract begins sending steady, increasing signals up to their brain, telling them they are getting hungry. For most healthy adult cats, that timer runs right around 8 to 12 hours before the hunger gets intense enough to make them vocalize. So let me ask you a simple question. When do you currently feed your cat their last meal of the day? If you are like most cat owners I talk to in my exam room, you feed them when you sit down for your own dinner around 6 or 7 p.m. Or you leave a bowl of dry food out and they nibble all evening. Then you go to bed around 10:30 or 11. Now do the math with me. 11 hours later, that is 9:30 or 10 a.m. the next morning, your cat should not be hungry at 4 a.m. But here is the problem. If you are a kind-hearted, exhausted pet parent and you hear that desperate meowing, you will absolutely get up. You will feed the cat, you will go back to bed, and your cat will eat. Now, biologically, your cat's brain does not think, "Oh, my human is just super nice and wanted to give me a snack because they felt bad." Your cat's brain registers a very simple equation. Yowl plus human plus food equals food. And that equation just got locked in. Tomorrow, the timer inside their body will start counting down 12 hours from that 4 a.m. feast. Fast forward 1 week and you have officially trained your cat that 4 a.m. is a guaranteed all-you-can-eat buffet served by a sleepy, grumpy human. This is classical conditioning, and it is the reason the problem gets worse every week instead of better. So here is the fix. The single most powerful bedtime change you can make is to push your cat's last major meal as close to your own bedtime as possible, and to make that meal the largest, most satisfying meal of the day. If you go to bed at 10:30 p.m., feed your cat their biggest, most calorie-dense, most delicious wet food meal at 9:45 p.m. A wet food meal stays in their stomach longer because of the protein and the moisture content, and it triggers a much stronger satiety signal to their brain than dry kibble. The 12-hour timer now starts at 9:45 p.m. That means they will not be biologically hungry again until 9:45 a.m. the next morning. And if your cat eats a protein-rich wet food meal right before you close your eyes, the digestive process itself releases a gentle wave of soothing gut hormones that supports relaxation, not wild energy. Now, I know what you are thinking. What about the morning? What if I just sleep in and my cat screams at 9 a.m. instead of 4 a.m.? Stay with me, because Chapter 3 solves exactly that. Alright, now we need to make your cat biologically tired. Welcome to Chapter 3, Secret Number 2, the simulated hunt. This is the part of the script where I'm going to change the way you look at your cat forever. Your cat is not a small dog. They cannot be reasoned with, bribed with obedience treats, or walked around the block to tire them out. They are an obligate carnivore whose brain is wired for one specific sequence of behaviours. Biologists and feline behaviourists refer to this as the catch, eat, groom, sleep cycle. It is hardwired. When they wake up, their brain tells them, hunt something, catch something, kill it, eat it, then groom themselves, then sleep. We can hijack this cycle and use it to make your cat sleep through the night. The trick is in the order. You do not feed them first, you feed them last. Between dinner and bedtime tonight, I want you to set aside 15 to 20 minutes and engage your cat in what I call a simulated hunt. This is not cuddle time. This is not waving a feather toy around for 30 seconds while you scroll on your phone. This is serious, predatory, chase and pounce play. Grab a wand toy with a realistic mouse or feather at the end. Move it across the floor in sudden, darting, irregular patterns. Skitter it behind a corner. Let it freeze for 3 seconds, then bolt again. If your cat is pouncing, bunny kicking, and crouching low with their butt wiggling, you are doing it perfectly. You are triggering the exact neurochemical cascade that a real hunt triggers. Dopamine spikes, focus locks in, energy burns rapidly. 15 minutes of real, intense predatory play is roughly equivalent to a 30-minute cardio session for a human. By the end of it, your cat should be panting slightly, lying down, or walking away. That is the signal that their prey drive has been satisfied. Now, and only now, immediately after the play session, you feed them that big wet food meal I talked about in Chapter 2. This is the crucial step. The simulated hunt releases happy, feel-good endorphins. The meal releases deep satiety hormones. These two biological events played back-to-back drop your cat into a long, slow wave of restful, grooming, sleepy behaviour. You have just manually completed their entire catch, eat, groom, sleep cycle inside of 30 minutes. Honestly, do this for 1 week straight and you will be shocked. Now let's upgrade this even further with Chapter 4, Secret number 3, the timed feeder. So we have shifted their last meal to right before bed. We have simulated a hunt right before bed. But humans are not perfectly consistent. If you stay up late one night, sleep in on the weekend, or have an emergency at work, that beautiful routine falls apart. That is where the single greatest invention in modern cat care comes in, the automatic timed feeder. An automatic feeder is a small machine with a hopper of dry food and a digital clock that rotates open at whatever time you set. And here is what I want you to do with it. Set it for 4:30 a.m. Yes, 4:30 in the morning. Now here is the brilliant behavioral psychology behind this. For the last 2 weeks, your cat has been waking you up at 4 a.m. because they know that you are the food source. You are the one who stumbles out of bed and opens the can. By installing a machine that opens silently at 4:30 a.m., you completely remove yourself from the equation. Your cat learns that food is not attached to your face anymore. Food is attached to that little box in the kitchen. The machine opens, the dry food drops, your cat eats quietly, and you, my friend, are still fast asleep. You have effectively decoupled your sleep cycle from your cat's hunger cycle. Now, a critical vet warning here. Timed feeders are amazing, but if you use one, never set it to dispense a huge amount of food. Set it to dispense just a small snack-sized portion, maybe a quarter to a half cup of dry kibble. Wet food cannot go in a timed feeder because it will spoil and grow bacteria. The wet feast at 9:45 p.m. should still be your main meal. The timed feeder is just the tiny dawn snack that prevents the screaming. Also, do not buy a super cheap plastic feeder that jams and breaks. Spend the extra $30 on a brand name pet feeder with a battery backup so it still works during a power outage. And do not use it as a punishment device. It is not there to replace you. It is there to protect your sleep while your cat's body clock slowly adjusts to a civilized human morning. Alright, so we have moved the last meal, we have simulated the hunt, and we have set the timed feeder. Now before you go and do all of this tonight, I need to leave you with one critical veterinary warning. There are some cats who wake you up at 4 a.m. not because of routine, but because of disease. And as a vet, I would be failing you if I did not mention it. If your cat is over the age of 10 and the 4 a.m. screaming started suddenly out of nowhere in the last few months, and it is paired with weight loss despite a huge appetite, increased thirst, restlessness, and pacing at night, you need to bring them in for blood work. These are classic early signs of feline hyperthyroidism. That is a condition where a benign tumour on their thyroid gland causes their metabolism to skyrocket. Their heart races, they feel jittery, they are hungry all the time, and that internal cortisol spike wakes them up in the early morning hours. The good news is that hyperthyroidism is one of the most treatable diseases in veterinary medicine, with medication, a special diet, or a single radioiodine injection that often permanently cures it. But it will only get diagnosed if you go see your vet. So please do not ignore a sudden nighttime behaviour change in an older cat. Other red flags to look for are sudden litter box accidents, lots of water drinking, or nighttime confusion, all of which can point to kidney disease or feline cognitive dysfunction, the cat version of dementia. Always rule out a medical cause before assuming it is purely behavioural. Now, while your new timed feeder is doing its job and your cat is finally letting you sleep, we can use their litter box for our final life-changing training hack. Welcome to Chapter 5, the clean slate trick. Here is a behaviour secret that very few cat owners ever think about. Your cat's litter box is the centre of their territorial universe. If that box is dirty, smells strongly of ammonia, or has not been scooped in 24 hours, your cat's brain is in a low-grade state of stress all night long. That stress is just enough to keep them restless enough to wake up early and march into your room to complain. So this is my final hack for you. Every single night, right after your 9:45 p.m. play and feed routine, Scoop the litter box one more time. Toss the old clumps. Add a light sprinkle of fresh, unscented clumping litter on top. Make the box smell neutral and clean. Within 20 minutes, your cat will almost certainly walk over to the box. Dig, investigate the fresh texture, do their final business of the night, and groom themselves. That grooming behavior is the biological trigger that releases melatonin, the sleep hormone, into their bloodstream. You have just given them the perfect, clean, and natural closing to their day. A clean litter box at bedtime is one of the simplest, cheapest, and most underused tools we have to help cats sleep through the night. Try it for 3 nights and watch what happens. Raising a cat, training a cat, and especially sleeping with a cat is a long game. But the fact that you sat through an entire veterinary masterclass on nighttime cat behavior proves that you take your cat's health and your own sleep seriously. And your cat is so lucky to have you. So, if this video helped you reclaim your 4 AM, and if you are ready to start the new bedtime routine tonight, please do me a massive favour and hit that like button. And make sure you hit subscribe so we can keep working on your cat's health together. Go set that timed feeder, throw away the late night can opener habit, and trust the nighttime biology. Give your sweet, loud, perfect little alarm clock a gentle scratch behind the ears from Dr. Logan tonight. Sweet dreams, and stay well rested.